Move on to the LA Rams. And yes, full disclosure, we do cover the Rams. If you're a Rams fan, you can check us out on Bleav in Rams. But we're going to be, well, I'm just going to call it like it is, though. I really loved this draft. I really did. They got 14 picks. They got guys that can start right away. I mean, Steve Avila, Byron Young, Kobe Turner. They got a backup quarterback in Stetson Bennett, who they really like and they feel like could fill in for Stafford in a pinch. Everyone's talking about Puka Nacua potentially filling that Robert Woods role. I think it's a little premature, actually a lot premature. You're putting a lot of pressure on a 5th-round pick there. I love the long-term potential of guys like Nick Hampton, Davis Allen, Warren McClendon Jr. I think Travius Hodges-Tomlinson, a.k.a. LT's nephew, has a chance to be really good. I think Zach Evans has starting level upside at the running back position. Desjuan Johnson was my guy, and the fact he went Mr. Irrelevant, that was so cool. I think he has a chance to make the team. I think he will make the team. So Cam, like, I gave this an A+, and I know that sounds crazy, but like, I really loved this draft, like from beginning to end. I thought not having a 1st-round pick, I thought the Rams, and you could say what you will, the Rams have a lot of needs, but they go out, first thing they do. Cam, what was the biggest issue last year? Is protecting the quarterback. So they're going to go out and get a guy who's only given up 1 sack in the last 900 snaps, didn't give up a sack last year, in Steve Avila, who has center potential because that's his natural spot, was asked to slide over to guard because he's a team guy and he's a leader and he's a captain, and he's going to plug and play right at left guard for the Rams. And then he could potentially be their center down the road. Byron Young, one of our guys, right? We talk about him a lot. I mean, I feel like we've talked about him 5 different videos, right? Definitely. But Byron Young is a day one starter. No Leonard Floyd. You have to have Byron Young at this point. Him and Michael Hoyt, and then Kobe Turner, I think, is somebody, with Greg Gaines out, A'Shawn Robinson out. A'Shawn Robinson signs after the draft. So now we know he's done. Kobe Turner might get a chance to actually slide right in there. Bennett, long-term backup, maybe with some starting level upside, played in some big games. Nick Hampton, if he gets better stopping the run, he has a chance to be a full-time starter. I think right now he's a situational pass rusher with some juice off that edge. And then you got guys like McClendon, Allen, and Nacua, who I like long-term. And Mathis was, at the end of the day, he was really a lottery ticket. But, we'll see what ends up happening there. But, yeah, Cam, I give it an A+. I'm just curious what you thought about this draft.
Yeah, Jake, I gave it an A. I didn't give it an A+ because like all people are like, oh, you're biased, right? You do Bleav in Rams, but no. Just for the folks that are listening, hear us out on this one. Last year we were kicking and screaming, Jake, because the Rams were minimal depth, struggling to win football games, and when it came to leading up to the draft, we were like, hey, y'all have to win in the draft. We have to figure out how to win football games with the people that get drafted. And they went and did it, Jake. They went and did it. There was a lot of picks that they have here compared to some of the other teams, right? Like the Dolphins, they didn't have a 1st-round pick, and they only selected about 5-6 people in the draft. And it's like, But the Rams, they went hard. They went ham. Like you mentioned with Steve Avila, Jake, we talked about not causing any flags or not causing any penalties, right? We talked about that in the previous draft with Garrett at the Cardinals. Now Steve at the Rams. That's huge, Jake. The reason why I say that is because you can win or lose championships depending on what penalties you cause. And if you don't cause penalties, you might get a little bit further. But if you do, get out of here. But Steve, he's a guy that's going to be able to protect the quarterback. Like you said, he can play both sides, All-American, all everything. And then he's a captain. Going to Byron Young, another captain. So the Rams hit on one captain, and if it feel the need, it goes to the next pick. They get another captain, Byron Young, a little bit older, but my man can run. He had 10 sacks on the season in 2 years. Worked at Circle K, like we talked about, Jake. So his story is incredible. And then the pick after that, you got Kobe Turner. That's another guy who can start right away. That can help out Aaron Donald. We need people who can help out Aaron Donald right now, and these are guys who can do it. And then we talk about quarterback safety, Matthew Stafford. If folks have not watched the Rams, take a look at last year. The record wasn't great. A lot of the times because our offensive line was hurt and our quarterbacks were hurt, right? We're playing with 3rd-string quarterbacks, and it didn't look great. So Stetson Bennett, another Bulldog, can go in and make some plays former walk-on Jake. So that's really cool. And then Warren McClendon Jr. That's another guy who can step in and make plays. So they're just hitting pick after pick. Davis Allen got a tight end who can catch the football really well. I mean, dude, they crushing. There's a lot more players that we can chat about here, Jake, but we'll be on here all day. But the Rams, I think, hit on most of their picks, close to all of their picks. The only one for me, Jake, was Nick Hampton. He's a great player. He's a baller. But the other ones that I really, really like, the Nick Hampton pick, that's why I said, go ahead and give me an A rather than an A plus. But a lot of these picks, great job by the Rams.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I kind of felt that way about Kobe Turner initially, and now I feel like Kobe Turner is going to be the guy that ends up being he'll be the John Johnson of this draft, because I notoriously didn't like the John Johnson pick. I had another guy that I wanted by the name of Desmond King, who wasn't half bad himself, but I think when people want like certain players, I think it's important to realize, like, if you have a certain group of players that you want, and the Rams pick out of that group, like, okay, or any of your teams pick out of that group, like, then you're like, all right, I feel good. This is kind of who I thought they would get. They're not reaching, so to speak, out of your realm. And so I just think I've come to understand more, teams have interest in different players, and Kobe Turner's really intelligent. He's another guy who, is kind of a leader, a high character guy. And, I think with Turner, it's interesting because technically, Cam, he never started. So, neither did Lucas Van Ness. And I've said that both times that I've brought it up. But, I just thought this draft was awesome. O'Shawn Mathis, like, if he pans out, and all these guys, not everybody's going to pan out, but when you have 14 picks and you draft this well, without a first-round pick, there's a good chance that you're going to have half this draft at least panning out. And so I'm feeling good about it because I feel like there are roles. This is not a team like in the past. I don't know how many of these guys are starting on like the Super Bowl Rams, but this is a lot of opportunity, and I think that's going to help them because they can just get thrown right in the fire. It's different with a quarterback, right? Some quarterbacks, they're not ready. You can destroy their confidence. But I do think guys like guards being thrown into the fire, if they're ready, good. Pass rushers, good. Like, start building that confidence at a young age, early on in your career, and see if you can continue, because that's the bar you've set. Now you can crush that bar.
Yep. No, I agree. And especially with linemen as well. When it comes to injuries, those guys, like you said, you want to get them going right away because, they can last a long time, but it just takes a couple injuries for these big guys to kind of be out of commission. So you want these guys to be healthy and to be moving right along. So Rams, man, I'm just, Jake, we do the Bleav in Rams show, y'all. So I'm just praying that the Rams got better. They even got a punter, right? Riley Dixon left, so they got a punter as well. They filled their needs out. So I feel like in this draft, Jake, I feel like specialists got drafted more so than not out of the other drafts, in the past. But no, the Rams did a great job filling all their needs, and man, they're going to be dangerous this year. We hope.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, right? It's a different scenario now where you have all these guys that are unproven getting a chance to start. And in the past, it's like you talk about Van Jefferson, second round, 57th overall. That was kind of the fourth receiver, right? He didn't really get a chance to. So these guys having bigger roles than even like Van Jefferson did, that's interesting.